So you're saying that Carisha is...
She's a predator no different than Nicki Minaj. She likes that.
Music entrepreneur Sean Diddy Combs, also known by his stage name Puff Daddy, has been involved in a number of court disputes lately. 2 lawsuits have been filed against him in just 1 week, one of which is from a young lady who has made shocking claims. This lady alleges that Diddy mistreated her, got her pregnant via his means, and coerced her into getting an abortion. When more people are named in the complaint, including rapper Young Miami, real name Carisha Romika Brownlee of the rap group City Girls, things become darker. Young Miami is accused in the complaint of having a major part in the alleged abuse, claiming that she assisted Diddy in finding victims. While similar allegations have been made before, this is the first time the dots have been clearly tied via legal action. These allegations state that Young Miami had a significant role in encouraging negative conduct against women in addition to being Diddy's sexual companion. Diddy and Young Miami's relationship has always generated some debate. Despite receiving a lot of media attention, their relationship has often drawn criticism, with many people wondering what power dynamics are at work. Despite their significant age gap and the rumors surrounding Diddy's history, Young Miami has stood by her connection with him time and time again, even acknowledging that they are together. But the most recent complaint exposes a much more sinister aspect of this collaboration. Jaguar Wright, a former music business associate, has made explosive statements in the past about Young Miami's relationship with Diddy. According to Wright, Young Miami was getting an incredible $250,000 a month to procure young ladies for Diddy for years. These claims have been making the rounds on internet forums, but many people have up until now written them off as hearsay. Given that the current complaint makes explicit mention of Young Miami's assistance to Diddy's maltreatment of the victim, it seems that Wright's accusations have more weight. The claims made against Young Miami are really unsettling. She is depicted in the complaint as actively participating in the manipulation and injuring of other women, rather than only being a passive participant. It implies that she was paid by Diddy to assist him in finding and abusing women, rather than just serving as his lover or confidante. Fans and the public are outraged by this, and they are now scrutinizing her public image in light of these accusations. Young Miami has made an effort to minimize how serious these charges are. She recently sobbed uncontrollably during an interview, saying that Diddy had put pressure on her to maintain a certain image throughout their relationship. She said that Diddy sought control over both her personal and professional life, in addition to having her as his partner in public. Although she did not explicitly answer the claims that she was involved in any abusive conduct, she made the implication that she felt confined. Fans, however, have started to criticize her and voice doubts about her justification. Some still see her as a victim in her own right, taken advantage of by a strong guy, while others think she was involved in the mistreatment of other women. The notion that she was an innocent participant is the aspect of her tale that fans find most difficult to accept. With Jaguar Wright's accusations and the current lawsuit, the general perception appears to be that Young Miami is more engaged than she is admitting. Numerous issues remain unresolved as the litigation progresses. First off, to what extent is Young Miami involved? Was she indeed forced to assist Diddy, or did she choose to help in exchange for money? And how many more victims with similar tales will come forward? Fans, legal experts, and the media are all asking these kinds of questions. The case has wider ramifications for the music business, where male moguls like Diddy often enjoy a disproportionate amount of control over women. The claimed involvement of Young Miami in this controversy highlights the ways in which women, even wealthy artists, can get entangled in oppressive power structures. The limits between what constitutes victimization and complicity in abuse are often fuzzy, making it difficult to assign blame. In conclusion, the music industry has been rocked by the lawsuit against Diddy and the allegations made against Young Miami. It's becoming more evident that there is more going on here than just one malicious guy. Rather, there is a wider abuse network including many people. Given that Young Miami's integrity and reputation are now in doubt, the consequences might be disastrous for her career. Whether justice will be done for the victims at the heart of this unsettling tale is still up in the air.
You couldn't wait for Cassie to run. You couldn't wait to be in Cassie's shoes.
Former hip-hop industry king Sean Diddy Combs has been involved in a number of legal issues and controversies, but none of them may be more damaging than the latest information about his notorious freak-off events. These parties, who were the subject of industry rumors for a while, are now a major component of the accusation against him. There are new revelations about Diddy's behavior and the degree of his criminal activity that might drastically alter the investigation's direction. Sources close to the inquiry claim that a male sex worker who was reportedly engaged for these freak-off events recently provided federal investigators with crucial evidence. The male employee, who wishes to remain anonymous, says he has a video recording of one such interaction that happened at one of these gatherings. Following Diddy's arrest in New York City, the male employee met with federal officials and turned over the footage, which is now crucial to the case. According to reports, this employee signed a contract promising him protection from legal action in return for his complete cooperation with the inquiry. Thanks to his immunity arrangement, he has been able to publicly provide important facts on the nature of these notorious parties, including specifics about the activities that went on and the drugs that Diddy and his guests are believed to have taken. The video's content, which purportedly depicts the male sex worker having sex with a lady as Diddy records the exchange, confirms the unsettling claims Cassie made in her most recent complaint against Diddy. If you're keeping track of the date, this particular occurrence happened in May 2023, according to the male worker. He said that in order to meet with Diddy and an unidentified lady, he planed from Atlanta to Miami. It's crucial to remember that this particular day may be crucial to revealing much more unsettling information on Diddy's purported behavior. The scenario is very similar to what Cassie said Diddy had done, enabling and filming prior meetings. The date and conduct of these two instances are connected, which strengthens the accusations made against him. The male sex worker's capacity to replicate the night's videotape and provide it to federal authorities is what makes this discovery even more shocking. As expected, the tape will be critical to the investigation and may provide indisputable evidence of illicit activities, particularly when it comes to Diddy's coordination and documentation of these meetings. Investigators are also looking into whether this video is a part of a larger pattern of abuse and exploitation that has long been associated with Diddy's freak-off events. Online detectives attempt to identify the lady who was part of the videotaped encounter. Speculation has been rife on the internet. Although her identity remains undisclosed to the public, there are many who think that her involvement may reveal more about the wider circle of people Diddy brought to these scandalous events. The male employee's date of birth, May 26, 2023, has come to be seen as crucial information in identifying the lady. It seems like May 26, 2023, will be a big day in our continuing story. It coincides with public appearances and gatherings, including a number of well-known individuals from Diddy's inner circle, sparking rumors that one of these women may be the anonymous person in the film. The chronology is particularly pertinent in light of the attention that Cassie's claims have recently received. These claims also allude to a pattern of conduct in which Diddy used his position of authority and riches to take advantage of women while planning and documenting sex acts for his personal pleasure. The accusation against Diddy becomes more and more intricate as additional details surface. The video recording and the male sex worker's statement may prove to be the conclusive evidence that the detectives have been looking for. This goes beyond just incorrect conduct. There are now charges of criminal action, which may have serious legal repercussions. The video recording could further support the statements provided by more victims, strengthening the accusations that Diddy was practicing regular abuse, exploitation, and coercion, because it offers a fresh perspective on the hitherto mysterious freak-off gatherings. The presence of the male sex worker is extremely noteworthy. His first-hand description of what happened and the tangible evidence the videotape may prove to be crucial in this case. There may be additional charges and victims who come forward. If federal investigators are able to confirm the veracity of the recording and the employee's statement. Finally, the video recording that the male sex worker provided and his statement are important pieces of evidence in the ongoing investigation of Diddy's parties and conduct. The attention is still firmly on Diddy and the amount of his participation in illicit acts, even if the internet is still speculating about the identity of the lady involved. Diddy's legal issues are getting worse as federal investigators delve deeper into the case, and it's unclear how far-reaching the fallout from this controversy will be. Thanks to the male employee's assistance, a new chapter in one of the music industry's most high-profile instances of abuse and misbehavior may now begin. Youthful with the comment, "He wants to sponsor my ActB. Thank you." Poppy Miami got on X and shared a video of herself shopping. Fans speculate that Diddy took her shopping as payment for her involvement in the freak-off, and if you think that's a stretch, we'll take a hard look at her nails. Miami is sporting white nails, and if you recall Cassie's lawsuit, she said that Diddy liked them. The records also stated that Miss Venter had to wear lingerie for a formal event, and Mr. Combs ordered that she do so. To set her nails apart from the skin of the black males he hired to spend time with her, he used white nail lacquer. Miami shared a new image on Instagram with the caption "Bob and Whitney," in which she was seen giving Diddy a backward hug while he took a self-portrait on the balcony. Just so you know, she was making reference to Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown, who were married in 1991. Their whole marriage was marred by accusations of excessive drinking, cruelty, and deteriorating professional reputations. Miami was drawing comparisons between herself and Diddy to these two couples. Speaker volumes. The real question is whether young Miami, real name Carisha Rom Brown Lee, was a perpetrator or a victim like Cassie. Because it appears that she was trying to portray herself as Diddy's ride or die, despite the skeletons in his closet. Since she seemed to be just like Diddy, Diddy was then hit with another lawsuit from a woman in New York who chose to identify herself as Jane Doe and claimed that she was repeated immediately. And at Diddy's house. But what's interesting is that, according to court documents, Carisha Brownlee, defendant Coles' associate, mistreated Jane Doe by calling her repeatedly and telling her to have an Aurora. It appears that Carisha was part of the mistreatment, especially after Jane became pregnant. Jane Doe reportedly experienced a simple scage and did not communicate with defendant Combs or his crew for around 3 months. The other data are really unsettling. It also seems that in late 2022, Diddy reconnected with the victim and carried on the abusive cycle. According to the records, defendant Combs forced her to put on a show for him and plied her with drugs until she passed out. She would then wake up from this ordeal without remembering how she had been injured. This continued until July 2024, when defendant Combs ordered Jane Doe to go to his Miami home. When Jane Doe arrived, defendant Combs pushed 2 pills into her mouth. At this point, the victim decided to hide their identity, but her admirers believe they know exactly who she is. Gina Hune, who made headlines for dating the record boss and spoke out against his mistreatment of her behind the scenes. But he kept, and I was like pleading to him like, can you stop, I can't breathe, and he stopped for a little bit. He grabbed my hair from the back and was the back of my head, cause he was just avoiding my face when he was like, hip-hop culture has made social media drama and public feuds commonplace. One of the most prominent instances of this is rapper Young Miami, one half of the City Girls, and her continuous problems with other ladies connected to Sean Diddy Combs. The conflict peaked in December 2022 when Young Miami was disparaged on social media by Gina Hune, a lady who had formerly been romantically connected with Diddy. Although this was not the first time these two ladies had gotten into a public argument, the intensity of their antagonism was brought to light in this specific confrontation. Gina called someone a dumb bee in a social media post, which sparked the dispute. Since this occurred around the time when Diddy made waves for having a kid with a different lady despite his continued relationship with Miami, fans soon thought she was referring to Young Miami by labeling the photo "When she beefing with you over AN," but the whole time he got somebody else pregnant. Gina fanned the flames even more. City Girls score 1,000 points. As half of the City Girls pair with JT, Miami has always projected an image of strength and independence. Thus it was obvious that she was the target of this insult. The remark hurt because it seemed that Diddy had disregarded Miami by being romantically connected with her while having a kid with someone else. Young Miami reacted negatively to the public shade, as was to be anticipated. She hopped on X, which was once Twitter, and started responding angrily to Gina. "You want a baby B? I have a career," Miami tweeted in one of her most notorious messages. "You're an official weirdo. Diddy hasn't communicated with you since the awards. Thinking back on abortions, please let that pain go." Miami called Gina out in an uncensored tweet. accusing her of being thirsty for Diddy's attention. She also said that while Gina could have desired a kid with Diddy, Miami was more concerned with her job and didn't want approval or support from a partner. That wasn't all, however. Miami sent out another cruel tweet shortly after, stating, "Gina, you've been down bad ever since I came into the picture. You have cried for a child for a decade. You've been known as a B who will consume D at his discretion. You are a foodie." This comment was aimed directly at Gina, portraying her as nothing more than a prop for Diddy's entertainment. Miami was making it clear that she was Diddy's boss and that Gina posed no threat to her. But Gina wasn't going to back down, and she taunted back at Miami's comments. "Carisha, you know you want to taste this yum-yum sauce," she wrote. Miami responded to this crude remark, which went viral right after, with a tweet that said, "If I wanted you to eat my pee, Diddy would have had you on your knees. B, you're an eater. You are a munch." This response cemented the fight as one of the most well-known online conflicts in recent memory. It also gave rise to conjecture among many that there was much more internal conflict between the two. If Wright's claims are accurate, Miami may not have been merely Diddy's girlfriend, or a one-night stand rather. She could have been actively involved in finding other women for him in addition to reaping financial rewards from the relationship. Since then, a lot of fans have started to see Miami as a consenting participant in Diddy's contentious lifestyle rather than as a victim. Given the claims that she was paid by Diddy and her hostile demeanor during their public spat, it's possible that she was more engaged in Diddy's world of exploitation and power struggles than she disclosed. There are many who even contend that her actions against Gina were an attempt to establish control, not just in their partnership with Diddy, but also in the context of his wider romantic and sexual relationships.
How you feeling? Where you know me from?
I don't know.
Remember? We went on, where did we go? We went on a trip.
In conclusion, the public spat between Gina Hun and young Miami over Diddy has shown the complicated and often poisonous dynamics that can develop in relationships combining celebrity, money, and power, rather than merely being a small-time social media drama. While Miami has positioned herself as an independent woman in charge of her future, the continuous disclosures and claims about her relationship with Diddy imply a far more convoluted reality. It's debatable whether she was a willing participant or a victim, but one thing is certain: Diddy and the ladies in his life are still embroiled in drama. She expressed that the accusations against him hurt her deeply because she felt that Diddy was a really good person to her. She felt that he helped her and elevated her. She felt that he saw a lot of potential in me. She felt that this was one of his specialties. He knew how to find people and recognize their potential. The fact that Miami is choosing to remember Diddy positively, while the rest of the world calls him out for the monster that he is, says volumes. According to rumors, this is unmistakably evidence of her being an accomplice. She is actually censoring her speech to avoid Diddy discrediting her and naming her in court. But who knows what the future holds? Fans seem to believe that Carisha is guilty, according to one commenter. Keisha behaves like a contemporary. Make that money, Ronnie from the movie The Players Club, shaking her head, daughter. Don't allow that money to make you gish. Another person said that she is exactly like him, and that they are the kind of individuals who would do anything for money however they obtained it. Doesn't matter as long as they can show up. But what do you think about the situation? In the meantime, she should surely allow that money to make her. Do you believe that Miami, the young woman, is the perpetrator or a victim? Tell us in the space provided for comments below.